I'm recording now. So I'm recording. It's August 6th. We have one of our own as a guest speaker. I'm so excited. I am going to mute and pull my Canva up so that way I can, so if you see me like playing, I'm going to be playing on Canva as she's talking. Feel free to do the same yourself because I'm more of a, if I take notes and try to go do it later, I'm never going to do it. So I'm just going to pull it up and play around with it while she talks to us. So go ahead, Delani.
Okay. Hello. So first I want to preface this with the fact that I minored in graphic design in college. So don't be discouraged with yourself if at first it's challenging. Because it definitely takes a lot of practice to get good at. So definitely play around with it. And I definitely think getting on your Canva, if you can, while I'm talking, will actually on it and then apply it. Also, hold on, you're muted.
You're frozen.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Can you hear me though?
Now I can. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, okay, I'm gonna move closer to my router and see if maybe that helps. So if it goes completely out, will you just text me or something? Because I've been on the phone with AT&T all day and it's really fun. But anyway, so let me come over here and see if this will help being closer to my router. Okay, so but first, I think graphics are just super important because they can kind of catch the eye of people in a way that our selfies don't necessarily. We post selfies and workout stuff all the time, pictures of food, and I think sometimes that can get really old for people. But if we can create something that will catch their eye in a different way, it might at least plant the seed in their head that this is something that they might be interested in, because it's not just us posting workout selfies all the time. So I tend to think that reserving graphics for talking about challenge groups, for things that are themed very specifically, is probably the best route. If, for example, Kelsey's posts about the Harry Potter group or her Survivor group, it's all her graphics are themed with Survivor fonts and Harry Potter fonts and symbols and stuff like that. So I think that is a really good way to do those. But if you're just kind of running a shift shop challenge group, I tend to stray away from graphics. I've never really done one for that reason, because I don't want it to look like an advertisement, because then that looks salesy. So, but that being said, again, if something is themed very specifically, like the Harry Potter thing or, anything else, I think that graphics can be a really good idea because it gets the point across really well. And then also for free groups, I think that they're a really good idea because it's free. So you're obviously not selling necessarily. So I think that can be a really good way to utilize graphics when you're making posts on your Facebook page. Also, with challenge groups, graphics are really, really important as well, in my opinion, just because if people log into their challenge group every day and they see something that's really catching their eye, then they're going to read it. They're going to take in the information, especially if it's really well organized and it's something that's really easy for them to read. So I take a lot of time on my challenge group ones, and really make them look how I think that they will catch people's eye. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. This is when my internet gets the most choppy. So, let's see. Can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up? Yes? Cool. Okay. So this is Canva. And it's literally designed to make your life easy on social media, which is really, really nice. So, again, it's designed literally for social media posts. So up here, when you create your account and you click this More tab, there's all of these different templates for posts on different social media platforms, and they all are like designed with the dimensions of each post. Like if you look, I'm hovering over the Facebook post, it has the exact dimensions for every post that you can make, so you don't have to worry about resizing things for different platforms to get the information that you need to fit in that photo, which is really, really nice. So it makes it super, super, super simple. So whenever I do my challenge group graphics and stuff like that, I always just work from the Facebook post template. I think that that's really easy. They also have ones for Facebook cover photos, which is really, really nice. You can use those for like your challenge group cover photos on Facebook too. You can use them for obviously your personal page Facebook cover photos, and it's the exact dimensions. So again, you don't have to worry about resizing stuff, and doing that on a Facebook cover photo is super complicated when you don't have the dimensions right. So I've done that before. So this being there makes your life way easier. But anyway, so I just always work from this Facebook post one. So when you click on it, it pulls up your perfectly sized post. So the first thing that I always do though when I am creating my graphics is write out the content of my posts. I always do that first because it's kind of like when in school you had to make speeches and you had to put information on index cards for you to read off of. The content of your posts is kind of like your speech, and your graphic is your index card. So you want the content of the post to like explain everything really well, but your graphic should be kind of like an abbreviated version of that. So I always find it easier to at least have a rough draft of what I want to talk about in the graphic written out and the topic for that day. This particular set, I wrote out the posts entirely first so I could pull out the most important pieces of information and put that on the actual graphic. So step 2 that I always do is searching for backgrounds for my graphics. So here are all of my graphics that I have for my challenge group. All of the backgrounds are really fun. My theme for this one is just like summer. So they're all very bright and exciting. So when I was searching for those, I literally just searched, it's still in my history, summer pattern. Like a bunch of really cute patterns pop up. Again, my internet is like super annoying. So there we go. Maybe. There we go. Brings up like all of these like really just fun, bright, and exciting patterns that are perfect for your posts. And I always try to pick one that, you know, is super bright and fun, a lot of color, things like that. I try to stay away from some that are like super busy though. And what I mean by that is like something like this. It's cute, but it's kind of one of those patterns that kind of makes you a little dizzy when you stare at it for too long. So putting text on top of a background like this it's going to be really hard to read. So I try and stay on things that are just, you know, like even like this is even fine because it's clean, and the other one, it just kind of like makes your eyes cross. So this was one that I used for my challenge group. It's pretty, it has a lot of color, it's bright, stuff like that. So what I always would do, I'm going to pick one. Let's see. I like these pineapples, so we'll pick that. Okay. So you just put it on your desktop. You just drag it over. And then to input it into Canva, you literally just drag it into Canva, and it uploads it on its own. So again, it's super, super simple to get everything in here. So once that loads up, you click on it and then just make it take up the entire size of the post. And then you can like reposition it however you want and all of that. So once I've done that, then I do an overlay on the background. And what I mean by that is if you look at all of these other posts that I've made, the white background that's like on top of the background but underneath the text. That's like an overlay on your background. What it does is it just makes your text a lot easier to read. Like for example, like on this one, there's a lot kind of going on in the background. It's just a bunch of fruit. But by putting that white kind of transparent background on the back, it's going to make the text a lot easier to read as opposed to just putting the text on top of the background itself. And that's super easy to do. All you do is just go to Elements over here and then go to Shapes. And then Canva has a lot of free shapes and like illustrations and stuff that you can do. As you keep like scrolling through, some of them are like $1 or whatever, or you can pay for the premium. I use Canva a lot and I've never paid for anything, so I really don't think it's necessary. So you can definitely just get by with the free stuff. But I just click on the regular square and then make this a little bit bigger. Let me read this chat. Yeah, it's definitely like super fine with just the free version. So I just make the square a little bit bigger. And then to center the square so it's like even on all sides, do you see like how when I move that over, it kind of crossed in the middle, like a little plus sign? That means that it's directly in the middle of the image. So that way all the sides are going to be even. So it's not like way over here and like this side is way bigger than this side. So when you have it in the middle, it'll cross like that. And then what I do is just, while I still have this white image clicked, when you go over here to this little like checked box, this is the transparency. And then I just take that transparency down to like 65, 70 normally is what I usually do. Just because then you can kind of see the background through the white, but it's not gonna like overtake your text, if that makes sense. So I always put overlays on all of my images just because, again, it makes your text way easier to read. So any questions before I like go to text? I know I feel like I'm going kind of fast, but we good? Okay, cool. So then this is like why I always write all of my posts out, because pulling text is significantly easier that way. So let me see. Okay, so for my third day of my meal prep week, I was talking about Shakeology. So my big text at the top is going to be this, what about Shakeology? Because then I can literally just copy and paste it on it. So to do that, when you go over to text, you just click add heading and that little box pops up. And then what about Shakeology, right? And then they have all these different built-in fonts, and these fonts are like design fonts, not fonts that you're going to find in like Microsoft Word that are super boring. These are like good fonts. I'm really passionate about fonts. It was a graphic design thing called. But you can, this is my favorite font. It's called Brusher. You can change your font to anything that you want. They have so many different kinds. Like if I want to do, say, like a Halloween themed group, which I probably will totally do because I love Halloween, they have like creepy fonts like that. They have like so many different fonts that will surely find something that's going to match kind of your theme. So definitely take a little bit of time to go through these fonts if you're running a themed challenge group to see if you can find one that kind of goes with the vibe of your group, because that's just going to kind of make it stand out that much more. But again, mine this time was just a summer theme, so mine wasn't that serious. So I just did Brusher. It's my favorite one. And then I just make that big. I don't want to make it too big though, because I don't want it to go outside of the white box, which you can't really see the white box. So I'm actually going to make it a little darker like that. Let me see. It's so cute. I freaking love it. Anyway, okay. So I don't want the font to go outside of this white box. I like to keep everything contained within the square. So I'm just going to make this a little smaller, like that. So then what I do is to make, if you look kind of at these other graphics, I'll pull this one up really quick. I always make my title text jump out a little bit, if you can kind of tell how I have like there's like a shadow behind it. It sounds really complicated, but it's really easy to do. So all you have to do is leave this black text here and just hit copy. And so it makes a duplicate of it. And then you're going to want to change the color of this font to a different color. What I always do is a color that is in the background. So if you look at this one, like my colors for all of my like big text are colors that came directly from this background. So that way nothing really clashes. And it looks very cohesive, and it goes together. So for this one, like I didn't put like any blue in the text because there's no blue in the background. So it just, everything looks like it matches really well. So for this one, I would probably do like a lighter green color. So to change the color, you just go up here. You can pick these like default colors, but if you click on this little plus sign, you can kind of customize the color and make it like a darker version of it or a lighter version of it. Makes it a lot easier to customize. So this color here looks pretty similar to kind of the leaves on the pineapple. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just something kind of similar. So I will put that as that color. So then what all you gotta do is move this one directly on top of it. And then I just use the arrows on my keyboard to move it over a little bit. And then see, it looks like a shadow. And that's it. It's super easy. And that just makes your text, again, stand out from your background a little bit more. And it just makes it easier to read, especially if you're using like a color like yellow or green that's just a little bit lighter. So this will just make it stand out a lot more and make it a lot easier to read. And then after that, what I do is I go through and pick out different parts of the post that I want to talk about in the graphic. So just the main points. So for the Shakeology one, let me see if I can find it in Canva. Let's see. Okay. So I just pulled out the main parts of my post and put it in the body of the graphic. So I just talked about how it's not a meal replacement, it's an addition, and that it has a bunch of superfoods. So then to add that body text, you just hit the add a little bit of body text part. And then that pops up, and then you can just type things about Shakeology and then paste it in here. So I'm just going to make this smaller so it fits within the white box, the overlay that I put on. And then to make sure that this text is centered, again, when you move the boxes around, you see the different like purple lines popping up. When you see that one pop up in the center, that just means that it is perfectly centered in the middle of your graphic. And then again, I go in and change the font. I'm trying to think which one I always use. I think it's this one. Yeah. And then I just make it a little bigger. And then you can edit it as you go, and all of that. So that makes it super, super easy. And then what I usually do at the bottom is do something in this brusher font that's just like, if you have questions, ask me, or something like that. And that can be super easy because you can literally just copy that one that you made earlier, but then just double click it and then type questions. And then you don't have to go through and like remake your text and all of that. You can just copy it and then change the words. So that's how I do my challenge group graphics. And the best part, in my opinion, about all of this is that once you've saved it, you can go to your main page of your designs. And this is how I can do like an entire challenge group in one night. It makes it so simple. So I have this What About Shakeology one that I just made. So say this is like day 3 of my meal prep week, and I want to make day 4 super fast, and I want to make it all look the same. Like if you go through all my designs, all of these that match are all week 1 for meal prep week. Then all of these are week 2. All of these that have the same background are week 3, etc., and so on. So if I want to make these look the same, this is the one that I just made. I can make a copy of it and then click on the copy that I made, and then just go in and just change all the text. So you don't have to completely start over and redo everything you just did. It makes life 10 million times easier. So I will usually just like delete this one and then say I want to talk about drinking water. I don't know. So when I do one like this, like What About Shakeology obviously took a lot more room. So I'm just going to make this one bigger so it takes up the whole top. And then you can just copy that one and do the exact same thing. And look, your color is even saved when you make a copy of it, so you don't have to go back and try and do it. Like, it just makes your life so easy. And then you can just, again, go in and select and type things about water over and over, like that. And then, so you don't have to start completely over with every challenge group thing that you make. So that's how I can literally do 4 weeks of a challenge group in one night, because it like makes it super fast. So super quick, I just want to show you how to add like cute little things to your graphics. Like this I made for the free group that my Team Cup team is running. This is the cover photo of that group. So how I did this and added these arrows and added these little emojis, I'll show you that super fast. So if I wanted to make, if I can get clicked on it, there we go. So if I wanted to make a cover photo like that again, I'm just gonna put an old background on it. So, and then also, like when I clicked on background over here, these are some backgrounds that Canva already has like in there on the website itself. So you can use some of these if you want, if you can't find one that you like. There's some cute ones, but again, it goes pretty quickly into the ones that you have to pay for. So I would take a little bit of extra time and search for patterns and stuff, but I'm just gonna pick one just to save some time. So when you go over here to elements, they have some illustrations and icons that you can pick from. So like these different ones are like, the illustrations are like kind of drawings, or excuse me, the icons are usually kind of drawings and the illustrations are like pictures and stuff. But say I wanted to add like arrows, like I did for this. Arrows are like my go-to because they're really easy. You can just search arrows up here and it'll pull up like free ones that you can use, like this one or like this one or whatever, and they're all free. So when you click on them, it imports them straight into the graphic for you, and then you can go up here and like change the color or like whatever, you know. So you can do them that way. If I wanted to add like plates, I've never done this one before, so I don't really know if, yeah, most of these you have to pay for. So again, that's kind of annoying. But if you run into that problem, you can go to Google and say I want like how I did the emojis on this one, this little muscle guy. So I literally typed muscle emoji, and then whenever you want to do that, you always want to type transparent afterward, and I'll explain why in a second. These emojis. So you see how this background is telling me my internet is unstable. Can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, cool. Okay. So you see how the background of this is checkered. That means that the background is transparent. So if I took out the transparent word and click on this one, maybe. Oh, well, that one's transparent too. Okay, like this one. See, the background is not checkered behind it. That means whenever I drag this, I'll put it in here really quick so I can kind of show you what I mean, or otherwise it's going to be confusing. When I put this on here, the white background is going to show up, and that's not cute. So we'll delete that off. But this one is the other one that I used, and since I put transparent on it, it's only going to be the muscle guy. So then it's just the background. So if you type transparent in Google and then it comes up with this checkered background, then you're in the clear to not have that ugly white background on your image. And you can literally do that with like anything, like weights, transparent background. And then you should be able to find like little things like these. That's a shake weight, but you know, like that should be transparent if they have like, see, this one's transparent because it has that checkered background. So if you want to add like cute little like emojis or smileys and stuff, that's how, and a super easy way to do that if you can't find ones for free on Canva. So, and then you can just add some other text and stuff. If you want to do a cover photo on Facebook, I've been kind of playing around with it, but I haven't made anything that I really like. Just keep in mind that you don't want to put anything like over in this corner or over in this corner, because on someone's page, like this is my friend Carly, we'll click on her. Like her profile picture is here, and then all of this stuff is in the corner, so you're going to want to keep it up here. All of your content and stuff like that for your Facebook picture or cover photo, excuse me, things like that. But you can super easily do that in Canva, but it just doesn't account for the where the profile picture sits and where those like information bars are and stuff like that. And then you can do stuff for Instagram. Oh, and then one other thing super quick before I am done. This one right here, the Making the Shift, Are You In, with all the names. This went on my Instagram story. If you guys download the Canva app, they have a template for Instagram and Snapchat stories too. The app is kind of annoying. It's really slow. So this took like 15 minutes to do just because it was really slow. But it was super worth it because it looked really cute, and I could put it on my Instagram story, and it was perfectly, the dimensions were perfect. I tried making it on my computer and it did not work. The dimensions didn't add up. So definitely check or download that app and see if you can kind of make it work. Yeah, Lizzie, it is really slow. You just got to have some patience. I really wanted to make it. So that was made on the app. And I know that they talked a lot about Summit at Summit about doing graphics like this on your Instagram story and how much it's actually really helped people. So definitely make some of these for Instagram or Snapchat that you can import onto there. Okay, so I think that's all I had in my notes. But does anybody have like questions on how to do like specific things on Canva that I might know how to do? Thanks, Lizzie.
That was so awesome. Thank you very much. I am going to just share one more thing really quickly. And it's kind of just not just about Canva, but about what I'm doing now. Instead of my gosh, I really look like a hot mess. I'm sorry. Instead of doing, you know how like somebody signs up and you send them a welcome email. We all do that, right? Because that's your insurance plan. Okay. So you send out that welcome email. I used to send an email for the next 7 days to the people. Like it would be like how to open your package and this and that and how to make a shake and all this stuff. And I probably got a reply like 3 times out of, I have 160 some people in the group. That means that I've sent those emails to. Like 3 replies. And that takes a lot of time. I luckily use Streak, so I just sit down at one time and send those emails out. And then it sends them out through me, like throughout the week for me. But it still takes a good chunk of time each time you sign somebody up. So what I've done now is I've created a little page on Facebook. I'm doing mine a little differently than Kelsey, so I'll explain kind of both ways. I have the 365 page up and going. We don't use it that much, you know that. But then I also have this FitFam page. And in that FitFam page is just a welcome week. So I just put up day 6 right now while we're talking. I'll be doing day 7 tomorrow. I'm a day off because I didn't do one yesterday. I don't think anybody's really counting because when they're going to be doing it, all 7 are already going to be up and it's going to be like a self walkthrough course. But at the end of it, when they should be like, say they signed up tomorrow, then next Monday, I'm going to check in with them and make sure they've hit each topic in there. Have them tell me what program they're doing and have them send me their meal plan. Those aren't things I used to do. I used to just sign people up, send out my emails, threw them in a challenge group, wondered why they didn't complete it. And that's where we were. So what I'll do is I'll sign them up, I'll send them the welcome email, I'll plug them in that group, and I'll put a reminder in my agenda to message them in a week. And then in that week, we'll have that conversation about, there's a video in there about picking a program. There's a video in there about making a meal plan. They have all the resources to do it. So I'm going to share my screen with you for a second and show you how I am doing that. So I just made one thing here. And I normally just do one page at a time, but I decided to keep this all together because then when I'm done, I can make it in a PDF. And if somebody wanted all the information at one time, I can give them like a little booklet of the information. But I made this one page and then you can hit duplicate right here and I'll do it on this last one. So I hit duplicate and it sends me the same thing. So tomorrow I can go in and our topic is tips to be successful. So we can write like tips, blah, blah, blah. And I can go in and I can change all these things here. So now it'll be one packet. Now, when you want to download it one at a time, you have to hit download and I have to say, okay, I only want to download page 2 because when I'm posting them in the group, I'm only posting one page at a time. So make sure you download it and make sure you pick PDF. But if you're just doing like an Instagram picture, you want to make sure you hit JPEG or PNG because then it'll post that way. Look at the chat. Yes. Yeah, you could do prep week this way too if you wanted to do it. And then I have videos here and stuff, but where it says click here for recipes, I have put in a hyperlink. You just go right here to this little hyperlink. You highlight whatever you want it to go to and you go there. I just made, this is a hyperlink and this is a hyperlink, but if I click on them here, it doesn't take me there. You've got to download it first. So can you guys see my Facebook right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you go in to the FitFam and I just made this post, you can see that, oh, well, it didn't look like that on my computer. I might have to fix this, but I can click here and it's going to take them to the meal prep grad packet. The whole packet there. That's an old packet, but I still use it. Or if I come here to the preview and I click here for an example, then they can see a meal plan example. So this is all going to be done in this group right here. I have a pin posted to the top. Each time a new person comes in, I'm going to tag them in the bottom down here. I had a new girl start yesterday, so I tagged her in right here so she knows to check this group, see this video, and then they can self-walk them through all 7 days of that. The way that Kelsey is doing hers differently is she doesn't have like the 365 group. She's making her FitFam page like her 365 group. So she's going to be posting in there and doing like her updates and stuff. The reason I want to keep it smaller is because when new people come in, I don't want it to be an overwhelming page for them. I'm just going to have them in there. And then I'm not putting people into the 365 group, which you're still more than welcome to use. But I'm not putting people in there until they've sent me a transformation. So when they sign up with me, they're just going into my challenge tracker. When they graduate and they've sent me a transformation, they get put in a 365 group. So that's what I'm doing with that. Does that sound good? Okay, thank you so much, Delani. This was awesome. And yeah, I have it all recorded, so I will put it in the team page for anybody who missed it. Have a great night. Calls will be on Wednesday, so I can't wait to see you guys then. Bye.